Hey guys, today we're doing IXL. Let's get started.
The Witchland Spell Contest. Shanice watched Thomas tapping his broom on the floor as they waited for the contest to start. "Are you okay?" she asked him. He shook his head. "What if my spell doesn't work?" Shanice put her arm around her friend. "You'll do fine. It's just a silly spell contest anyway." Shanice was trying to help Thomas stop worrying, but the truth was that she was worried too. The Witchland Spell Contest meant just as much to her as it did to Thomas. All the young witches felt the same way. "I've told you all about my spell," Thomas said, "but you haven't told me about yours." Shanice smiled. "I haven't told anyone about it, but since you're my best friend, I'll give you a hint. It's kind of different." How does Shanice really feel about the spell contest? Look for clues in the story. She feels that the contest is unfair. She thinks the contest is too easy. She cares a lot about the contest. The judges sat down at their table. It was time for the contest to begin. Shanice and Thomas watched the other witches do their spells. One witch was from Shanice's baseball team. She made silver rings appear on the judges' fingers. Another witch made pink feathers float down to the judges' table. A third made songbirds appear, one for each judge. "These witches are so good," Thomas whispered. "Yeah," Shanice said. "They're all doing gift spells." "Of course," Thomas said. "The best gift always wins the contest." Shanice moved around in her seat. "Maybe the gift doesn't need to be a thing," she told herself. "Maybe the judges would like something else." What kind of spells are all the witches doing? Feather spells, ring spells, gift spells. Next, it was Thomas's turn. "Good luck," Shanice said. On stage, Thomas faced the judges. He brushed his broom across the floor and whispered his spell. Small pink cakes appeared in front of the judges. "How pretty," one judge said. "Almost too pretty to eat," the other judge said. But still, he licked the top. Thomas bowed while everyone else clapped or waved their brooms. The second judge didn't clap. He was too busy eating his cake. Shanice smiled and waved her broom at her friend. But when Thomas looked away, Shanice slid down in her chair. What had she been thinking? Why had she wanted to try something different? Thomas was right. Gift spells were what made the judges happy. After seeing Thomas's spell, how does Shanice feel about the spell she is planning? Look for clues in the story. She is worried that she may have picked the wrong spell. Shanice's turn came last. Her heart pounded, but she forced herself to smile. Then she raised her broom, whispering her spell. The judges looked around the empty table. Shanice pointed her broom to the sky. Slowly, the judges looked up. A giant rainbow spread above them, and a wonderful smell filled the air. The first judge pressed her hands to her chest. What a clever spell! This beautiful rainbow is, well, a gift. A gift for everyone in the room, the other judge said. Everyone was quiet, staring at the rainbow. Then Thomas banged his broom on the floor, and the other witches did too. They all cheered for Shanice and the colorful rainbow sparkling above them. Look at the picture. Why does a wonderful smell fill the air? Shanice has sprayed perfume into the air. The judges have given roses to Shanice as a prize. Shanice has made a rainbow filled with flowers. Fairies without wings. Want to go bounce on mushrooms? Pipit asked Crane. Sure, we did that all the time in my old village, Crane said. She had just moved to town. Pipit couldn't imagine moving to a whole different place. He'd never even left the forest. They jumped from one large mushroom to the next. What's your old village like? Pipit asked. It's kind of like here, Crane said, but there are giant fairies. Some of them are taller than bushes, and they don't have wings. Pipit stopped jumping. Really? He asked. Really, Crane said, leaping onto another mushroom. Pipit stood on his mushroom, trying to picture a giant fairy without wings. Was Crane trying to trick him, or could it be true? What kind of fairies does Crane tell Pipit about? Giant fairies with no wings. That night at dinner, Pipit quietly sipped his acorn soup. You're serious tonight, his father said. What's on your mind? I'm just thinking about something Crane told me. She says there are giant fairies without wings in her old village, Pipit said. His mother smiled. Sounds like your new friend is a great storyteller. So all fairies have wings? Pipit asked. And all fairies are the same size as us? How do we know for sure? His mother put her fork down next to her clover salad. We've never left the forest, Pipit continued. What if... Think about it, Pipit, his father said. Huge fairies, without wings, how would they float on clouds? Or dance in the air, his mother added. Or herd butterflies, asked his father. What do Pipit's parents think about giant fairies without wings? Look for clues in the story. They are good dancers. They live far away. They are not real. The next afternoon, Pipit and Crane bounced on mushrooms again. My parents say giant fairies without wings aren't real, Pipit said. Crane crossed her arms. Do you want to see them? How? Pipit asked. It's not that far if we fly super fast, Crane said. The idea of seeing a giant fairy without wings was like surfing on a raindrop. It seemed fun, but a little scary. Are they mean? Pipit asked. Nah, Crane said. Most of them can't even see us. Sometimes the younger ones will notice us, but then the other giant fairies don't believe them. Pipit took a deep breath. I need to be home for dinner. You will be. Let's go, Crane said, and they took off. Why does Pipit think that seeing a giant fairy could be like surfing on a raindrop? both seem fun but scary. Crane and Pipit flew through the forest, faster than Pipit had ever gone. Pipit followed Crane to a clearing. What he saw took his breath away. There were two large fairies, a boy and a girl. They were laughing and throwing a strange round thing back and forth, and they didn't have wings. Told you, Crane said. What are they doing? Pipit asked. It's a game they call catch, Crane answered. Now watch. She flew over and landed right on top of the boy. There's a fairy on your head, the girl said, pointing. How many times do I have to tell you? The boy said. Fairies aren't real. Crane flew back to Pipit. They both laughed. I can't wait to tell my parents, Pipit said. Look at the picture. What are the fairies without wings, really? Clouds, rocks, people. Forest Walker. Mom opened the curtains and sunlight streamed in. Good morning, birthday boy. Ezra threw off his blanket. Ooh, I smell pancakes. That's right. I'm making you a birthday feast, Mom laughed. 7 is a big deal. In Ezra's village, turning 7 meant that you could go into the forest alone. But Ezra was excited for another reason. Your 7th birthday was also when you found out if you had the magical power to speak to trees. Excited? Mom asked. Yes, Ezra said. Trees know everything about everything. Imagine being able to ask them questions. Oh, trees speak? Well, most people in the village can't do it. Mom patted down his bedhead hair. But you still get to go into the forest. So how about some pancakes? What does Ezra want most for his birthday? Look for clues in the story. A chance to go into the forest alone. A birthday feast with lots of pancakes. The magical power to talk to trees. After the feast, Ezra went to Mr. Dell's house. Mr. Dell was one of the few people in the village who could tree speak. Ezra hoped that Mr. Dell could help him. It's your big day, Mr. Dell said. I've been thinking, when I get to the circle of trees, what should I talk about? Ezra asked. Trees are more like us than you think, Mr. Dell said. They want to be loved and heard, just like people. Ezra nodded, though he still wasn't sure what to say to the trees. I guess I'll see what happens. Ezra ran back home. Then he paraded through the village with his family. Neighbors swung open their windows. Ezra heard their good wishes. Happy birthday, Forest Walker. Enjoy your day. Why does Ezra go talk to Mr. Dell? Ezra wants help from someone who can tree speak. When they got to the forest, Mom hugged Ezra. Enjoy your first walk alone. Ezra entered the forest. He walked until he came to a circle of giant trees. Hello? I'm Ezra from the village. I'm 7 today, but I guess you already know that. Ezra waited to feel something magical, but nothing happened. Minutes passed. We had a huge feast this morning with a pancake pile as high as my knees. Ezra kept talking about his birthday. More time passed. His excitement turned into a heavy feeling. He sat down on the soft forest floor. Maybe he couldn't tree speak. Ezra thought about what Mr. Dell had said. Like people, trees wanted to be loved. He hugged his knees and thought about what made him feel loved. Look at the picture. What does Mom do that makes Ezra feel loved? She gives him toys on his birthday. She listens to him when he talks. Ezra looked up at the trees. They were so tall that they seemed to disappear into the bright blue sky. He imagined that his ears were balloons, stretching and filling up with all the sounds of the forest. He closed his eyes, stopped thinking about what to say next, and just listened. Suddenly, Ezra heard gentle voices. He jumped to his feet. Was his family calling to him? No, the voices didn't sound like people. Hello, Ezra. We're glad you're here. Ezra whispered, Who are you? We are the trees. I can understand you, Ezra said. And we can understand you. Ezra felt dizzy with joy. He was tree speaking. Ezra had so much to say, but first he wanted to listen. What happens to Ezra at the end of the story? His family calls to him. He turns into a tree. He talks with the trees.
That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Bye.